Then there's a song called Sympathy is a Knife. Okay? So Sympathy is a Knife is said to be about Taylor Swift.
Okay.
So they have a little bit of history wherein she opened for Taylor Swift on her 1989 tour. And after which Charlie declared that she won't open for anyone ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Reasons I don't know much. And then there is this thing wherein so Charlie is dating this drummer called George, who is part of the 1975 band, which has Matt Healy, who Taylor Swift dated.
Oh, okay. So is this going into the direction of the Trinity that you said?
Trinity, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But I feel the Trinity is a bit far away from this discussion. But I just want to tell you a bit more about how they are connected a little bit. So they have this history from the tour, and then there's like this very complicated link between them dating the same, not मतलब 1975 members. And ऐसा बोलते हैं कि Taylor Swift kind of blocked her single or album releases by releasing like some new versions of her songs at the same day. So she released Brat, and just 3 days after that, she released Brat, but 3 more songs, but it's the same.
Yeah.
Because like there was some blocking thing happening, which, well, she has not said ki, yeah, this song is about Taylor Swift and I did this because she blocked it or anything. But well, there's a theory that goes, which gets stronger when we look into the lyrics of it. Wherein she says ki, I don't want to see her at my boyfriend's shows. So some of the lyrics include, cause I couldn't even be her if I tried. I'm opposite, I'm on the other side. I feel all these feelings I can't control. Oh no, don't know why. All this sympathy is a knife. Which I wanted to mention this because she also talks about, well, being in the sisterhood, and maybe you can expand a bit more on that other than me. But well, she said ki there's an unrealistic expectation in the music industry that if you support women and you like other women, then you are a good feminist. And she also says that relationships between women are super complex and multi-layered. You can like someone and dislike them at the same time. You can have the best time of your life on a night out with someone, but not be that close to them at all. Which again makes me think a lot about the whole entire Barbie monologue. And I remember from one of our earlier discussions, you mentioned that there was a lot of backlash as well about Barbie and the kind of ideas they put forth. So, like, yeah, maybe you would like to put some thoughts on that. I mean, I would basically want to know what was the backlash about.
I think, like, I tried to stay away from the mainstream commentary when it came to Barbie because it was easy to side with the mainstream commentary. And sure, it was very woke coded, and some parts of it were not necessarily. I mean, yes, it was in some sense. I could tell that यार ये AI भी बनने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं क्या, ऐसा मतलब थोड़ा फीलिंग आने लगा that are they trying to, like, it felt a bit like parody or a very satirical skit, but I don't entirely agree with the whole film, but or like let's say I don't entirely agree with a lot of other aspects of the film, but it was an interesting movie, and ultimately I think on the note in which the movie ended, it spoke way more broadly to the very experience of being human.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I personally don't want to single out any gender in how I interpret the film.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't want
That's
to
what I
make
felt
the film
with
about
the monologue as well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to make the film about just men or just women, but I do understand why we would want to make it about, like, if you look at history, which it kind of is irrefutable that women have been um, a marginalized subset, or let's say a subset that has been discriminated against or that has been abused. Like, when you talk about freedom and when you include, let's say, any subset of society that has gone through any sort of, let's say, discrimination, it can get a bit loaded. And what freedom feels like to them, or what it means to be feels like to them, can be um, a very complex territory to um, explore or even understand, not just like societally speaking, but also speaking from like your emotions and your headspace. Because like my mom was brought up in a very orthodox environment. She was brought up in Chennai when Chennai was relatively more conservative. And now I see her inclining towards doing things that are not necessarily something that would have been in the prescribed framework of what it means to be a woman, or let's say what it means to be a person at her, like during her youth. And it is a bit baffling for me as well. And it is something that even makes me, sometimes even I'm a bit taken aback by it. But I think that is um, a very discriminatory, or let's say a very stereotypical, or a very prejudiced line of thought that I may have internalized. So ultimately, like, as much as I can make this dialogue about, let's say, just about, let's say, communities, or let's say people, or let's say, like, I can make it a very binary dialogue. I want to say, I don't want to refute that every human in some sense has experienced being categorized, or has experienced being put in a box, or yeah. And it is about, essentially, to me, the movie is about essentially challenging the notions of what it means to be. Like, I think it
Hmm.
ends on a very profound note. Like, when you talk about what it means to be a woman, or what it means to be a person, period. Let's take the binary out of the dialogue. Like, what does it mean to be a person? I think it tries to hint at that very interestingly through the satire, through the um, even through the intellectual, or even through the deeply existential monologues. And there is, spoiler ahead, spoiler alert, like, I'm going to paraphrase this, or maybe you could like include a snippet of the film where she talks about, like, she has this choice. She's given the choice of wanting to be an idea or wanting to be a person. She chooses that she wants to become a person. And the film basically ends on a note where she's really excited. She's like, it's my first appointment with my gynecologist. And it's hilarious because, first of all, if you look at the doll, the Barbie doll, it doesn't really have any genitalia.
Hmm, 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 hmm.
That. So it's clearly a doll. So, and then she talks about the idea of becoming a woman or a person. And it's hilarious that you're ending it on a sort of commentary that, huh, does having a vagina make you a woman or a person? Is
Oh,
that what makes you like? I laughed out loud because at least to me that felt like maybe that was probably not what the movie aimed at, but to me that felt like a very meta commentary, and that felt really meta, at least to me, and at least I laughed out loud when the movie ended on that note, because I think it challenged a lot of our notions of what it means to be anything. Like, this might be a very controversial take, but um, even hyper feminization procedures, or let's say even boob surgeries or breast enlargement surgeries, like like there is a very interesting question my mom once raised, and it was around breast enlargement surgeries. Sure, a lot of it is, some of it is, it's a personal choice, all that's aside, but um like even while growing up, or there are multiple scenarios where your body comes into question when talking about your identity. And my mom asked this very poignantly: are you not a woman if you don't have large breasts? Is that what makes you a woman? Like, um are you really, are you not, what, what exactly is your paradigm of what it means to be anything or be something, is what I feel that film essentially tries to grapple with. And sure, there is a lot of wokeness, but if you can't sift through it, if you can't, like, if you can't understand nuance, I think watching films like Barbie could be um, a bit more of a challenge. Or it's very easy to sway with populist opinions when you watch films like, because it was a huge phenomena, and even Brad for that matter, like these are huge phenomena, and if you don't come at it with a balanced perspective, or at least you don't try to observe it from an impartial lens to the extent that the human condition allows us to, it can get difficult. Like if you try to at least not interact with any piece of information without enough, um, without having um, like a foot on, let's say, you can't approach it with certitudes, is what I'm trying to say. Like you need to have this aspect, you need to like lean towards the fact that you probably don't know. I don't know if that was a very coherent um, explanation, but yeah, a lot of things
no,
were
I
said.